10 seconds. It's Radiant's ban now. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Dire's turn to ban. Dire pick. Radiant's turn to pick.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant pick.
Shadow Demon.
Ten seconds. Dire's turn to pick.
Clockwork.
Pick.
Mareska has arrived.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant pick.
Vengeful spirit.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. It's Radiant's ban now.
Weaver.
It's Dire's ban now. Seconds to go. 5 seconds left. Dire's turn to ban. 10 seconds. Radiant's turn to ban. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant's turn to pick. Dire's turn to pick. Yeehaw! Ten seconds. 5 seconds left.
Night
Choose your hero. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Fortune and glory await.
Tell me someone saw that.
Uh-oh.
遥遥领先，朋友，遥遥领先，遥遥领先，朋友，遥遥领先。
Enjoy, daughter. Enjoy.
30 seconds to battle! The battle begins!
Tempo that fits well with the draft with the Bristleback and Weaver, and even like the Clockwork just being able to be super early aggressive. I think it does have this early kill threat onto something like Muerta. You're very immobile early game, just drop the kisses. There's a hook shot kisses, that hero is very likely to die, and that's the carry. So I think that's probably, I mean, I guess what I see for it, but maybe also just other little things, of course, too, versus this Willow too. They have the burst, it's always going to be able to go through the Shadow Realm. And hey, maybe he just wants to get it so he can go for some crazy type of scaling that we haven't seen on Snapfire in some time.
And you're talking about, of course, the Weaver pick as well for low. I've got to say, we kind of heard it on the panel. Do you think there is something about being here at TI, the teams watching each other, that is kind of infectious? Because we've seen a lot of Weaver today.
Yeah, I think people, I mean, I've been hearing a little bit more on the back end and stuff like that, but people are just talking about this hero's gotten so many buffs, and the meta overall, yes, it can be a bit slow with these heart and tanky heroes, but this hero can actually thrive on taking advantage of them because he's so damn fast. Like, Weaver is actually able to make plays all over the map, constantly resetting, and you scale very, very hard. You get to this 25 talent, this Geminate attack is absolutely ridiculous, and even mid-game, you do farm pretty damn well this new build that we're seeing, this Deso Shard build. We'll see if Low does do the same thing, but let's see how these lanes end up going down, in particular, this mid matchup.
Absolutely, I think all eyes on the mid to see if Somnus is able to play it safe. For indeed, as was potentially suggested by the panel, if he might get a bit too close trying to get the blast in onto Nothing to Say, and maybe Nothing to Say is able to find a cheeky screw under the tower. Got to be careful, Somnus, when you're playing around like that. You see Nothing to Say teasing around with the potential of a skewer. But we'll see if he gets tripped up in the mid matchup, because killing this challenge, he's going to be okay. I mean, looking at the top lane in general, how easy of a lane is this for Shira in the safe lane? Is this going to be a lot of pressure thrown at the Muerta early on?
It depends. It's all depending on how much FY is able to get these stacks up and everything with positioning. But overall, I think he should be pretty okay with the Venge behind him. I'm just having a difficult time just looking away from mid, because I think this is the one everyone's going to be looking at, how this matchup's going to be, since we haven't seen it in a long time. The Snapfire is just not really being played in any role, but especially not in mid. And you heard Stormstormer there saying himself on the panel, he's curious how this is going to go, because in the past, Snapfire dominant, but
it really was. I guess sort of just over time, it was what nerfs to the hero, nerfs to what some of the items would be building on this hero as a universe.
I'm just watching Somnus just lining up the blast, and since he has that range advantage as well too, to have a good time for Sentience. I'm just curious the item build, right? That's the biggest thing. We used to see the 8 toes, the Gleipnir kind of build. What route are we going to see more Snapfire?
I mean, I feel like you could maybe get some sort of bots rush and kind of go around the map, get really aggressive, get involved in a lot of action. We'll see how sort of active they want to play, or if indeed they want to sort of sit back and get some good farm on Somnus, maybe whilst the Weaver, Low is playing the more active role.
Yeah, could be a possibility. We'll have to see which route they go. I mean, right now they set themselves up. The lanes are good. They shouldn't, in theory, die too much in these. The Weaver should be safe versus this Willow Nightstalker until nighttime hits, of course. Mid should be pretty safe. Top, we'll have to see the volatility. It's up to how fast that Vanguard comes out for Chalice, if he is going to be safe up here.
Sure, and if sort of Chalice kind of pushes it a bit too far with the early aggression as a Bristleback. But so far, so good. Chalice playing it safe. Just going to see if they can maybe turn it with FY, get a few poison stacks up onto Shiro. They'll bring him down low, but won't quite take him down.
The dream stick lane. Shadow Demon Bristleback. Everyone's just going to be thriving off those wand charges. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Already got it for the full one, as you say, done on Shiro.
Low is actually struggling a little bit. I mean, a tiny little bit in the lanes. He actually has a pretty massive wave coming in. But first few, I think we saw similar coming out from the Nightstalker earlier when he was dominating from Collapse, at least in the first few waves. But it should be fine. He has, 4 or 5 creeps coming into him, so.
This mid lane, though, good stuff so far from Somnus.
Nice.
Keeping that edge, playing to the favorability of being that range there against the Magnus, and not giving Nothing to Say any sort of chance to outplay him so far in this 1v1.
Yeah, I'm honestly just like waiting to see what he does look to queue up, because even this, I mean, I'm curious about just the early game potential and even just later stages too, how much he's going to be able to do if he does look to go for any of this type of crazy scaling. I don't know. I'm just unsure if he's going to do it or not.
I mean, if there was any sort of start to the game that would lead towards, having your options open, this would be it. He's getting free farm in this mid matchup. Somnus, he's got all the routes to potentially choose between when it comes towards that item build.
Quiet start though. 4 minutes, no kills.
making sure not to overextend their hand too much in these matchups.
And looking at, there's a big thing that we, of course, have to point out from the side of LGD that they did early. They see a Bristleback, they see a Shadow Demon. You know there's going to be stacks. Look at the two camps right off the bat. Didn't point it out, but they've been blocked the entire time. There is no hard camp, there's no Ancients to be stacked.
That's true.
So this Bristleback is going to be hampered quite a bit, and I think Panel did mention it also. If you looked at the way the games in the this leading up to this were, the stacking from LGD, they've been 2 times as much stacks on average per game as Azure has. So already looking to limit that a bit.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to imagine, right, Azure, they're gonna realize this. They're gonna have to do something about this, because playing these heroes, as you say, without the potential of getting the stacks up, it's gonna feel pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's not really a point in going over to deward it, though. There's only 2 minutes left on it, so I'm sure they're just gonna play it, and yeah, they'll go stack afterwards. But see if there's any repercussions at bottom.
We'll get Planet in the cogs, but
fine.
Shadow Realms at the ready. Tianming not gonna be able to finish off the job there.
Look at this. That lasted some minutes. Omnis.
I tell you, I think you could go for something crazy with the build. It is one of those Midas patches, but I don't want to see it. But you never know.
You never
the
know.
temptation can be there with those late game talents on a Snapfire that you want to go towards. See what's there. Take Somnus fancy here.
Okay. FY does actually buy the sentries. He's annoyed by it, so he is going to back away and will be able to take out both of those. But one of them, the damage is kind of done for the most part, but at least he'll get that next upcoming spawn that comes up. So does save him.
Got to
some
watch
time.
out in the mid as well. Somnus, he's 1 creep away from hitting the 6. That gives the chance for a potential outplay and an opportunity for a solo kill if Nothing to Say isn't careful.
Difficult versus the skewer, I would say. But if he does catch the cookie, then there's definitely that chance.
You can get the predict as well.
Yeah.
And both mids now hitting the 6. If any sort of rotation comes in, I mean, a +1 around the mid lane could secure a kill, and of course at this point, even a first blood. Maybe up to 6 minutes in.
I mean,
yet
Power Rune.
Anybody taken out yet?
Power Rune right now. I mean, either one of these are killable. RP is up, so if he does land an angle to be able to pull him under tower, +1 rotations. Let's see which runes are going to be.
Jackpot.
Oh, it is. So, I mean, this could be a potential setup even for the TP ganks on the side lanes here, as Nighttime, of course, was hit about a minute ago, so new. We'll have that available for himself. He's getting slowed down, though, also, this Night Stalker. You're seeing the last hits for the Weaver now starting to thrive this lane. Definitely strong versus the Night Stalker when there's the Clockwork backup, so. And new start, a bit slower, so far for Azure, the lane dominant kind of strategy that they went for with their picks, it's working in these first.
Could be able to catch up a bit during the night time, that extra bit of a strength.
Yeah.
Aggressive potential in the lane. Top lane low, making an early rotation. He's ready to join forces with the 2 of them, Chalice and FY, to try and take Shiro and Why You Smile down. They've got the disruption to set up. Chalice and Low to close in a bit more onto Shiro. They're diving in with the Shikuchi. TP's coming in. It's enough force to point it is. The RP's there in return though. Nothing to Say comes in with the 2-man. Stewart's the back low. He's under the tower. He's going to get taken down. They'll get the Weaver in return.
The blood grenade throw out. Is it enough to fill us?
Shockwave's there, Nothing to Say. Able to come in and redeem the sort of situation that was going down there. They may have lost Shiro. Going down as the first blood that Azure are able to pick up. And in return, Nothing to Say, making sure they get 2 back against them.
And very nicely done, too. It's just little things of spellcasting, of course, but why, of course, using that stun on the Bristle ensures that they get the secondary kill. Very nicely done.
Making that hit at a fantastic moment. Just, of course, the points before Low was able to have that 6 online. There was no time-lapse available. It was an aggressive move, a greedy move, and it gets punished.
It does. And we're probably going to see Somnus doing that Boots of Travel build, it's looking like. I mean, holding on to 1,500 gold, it fits the build. It fits exactly what they wanted to do.
But this is the danger. When you're playing the mid-snap, it's always like, do I get a Midas? Do I get the bots? You know, both are very, very tempting. We'll see which one he wants to lean towards.
It feels like when he has, like, I mean, the Weaver is, of course, these are kind of like these semi-carries that can play early that scale later on, so maybe he does feel like it, but it feels like the Boots of Travel just fit what they want to do in this game, of just playing super fast and aggressive, getting early Roshan objectives.
No, for sure. Well, especially if you've got sort of your carry Weaver making these twin gates movements 7 minutes into the other half of the map. You can tell that Azure, they're ready to fight.
It looks like we're going to see the same build. I mean, this has now been the staple Weaver build, I think. It's the Treads, Dragonlance, Bracer, and then perhaps that Deso afterwards. See if he does vary.
A bit more focus around the mid lane now. Nothing to Say having the presence of Planet alongside him. Planet trying to get that level 6 online himself. 5.5 right now in the Willow. To that move top, things starting to calm down once again.
Slight movement down bottom though. Why? He's making the rotation down with the Night Stalker.
Hard to get the opening on this.
It's level 6 on you, so he can do the double, you know, the Dark Ascension thing where he does get the double silence. If he does have a +1, they could have kill put onto the Weaver.
They're gonna
Let's hit the center for the clock.
And they should get him in. New and Planet chasing down Tianming. They'll find the kill. That does mean that
more.
Azure, they're going to have the information required to avoid this potentially. Shira's able to clip him with the silence. He's going to buy time to
secondary
as well. They're in on top of the Weaver. Magic Missile comes in. Very nicely done there by LGD as they take down Low.
That is a very unexpected rotation, and Shiro gets the perfect connection, and they have the follow-up silence as well, too. Get the angle. That's 2 now for the Weaver. Getting slowed down in this early game.
And this Urchin of being out on that point, lowest at the moment out of the cores after having quite good CS in the laning stage.
And it can hurt a lot, especially when you're playing into these silences overall. Like Night Stalker versus Weaver, this is a matchup that can quickly become very difficult for a Weaver. Especially if you itemize in a pretty cool way, which I'm seeing new already itemizing in a kind of cool way. I don't think I saw this one earlier, but early Blade Mail for Night Stalker. It is the Blade Mail meta for these tanky heroes, but I think we saw this earlier.
Absolutely, I guess it just sort of gives him the means to kind of get in there, get in on top of the Weaver, and know that if anyone on Azure wants to try to hold him back with damage, it's not going to work. Top lane, LGD making the
big kisses.
Big kisses indeed. Shiro's going to get swapped out to the side. The last few kisses will connect. It's enough. They'll take Shiro down. They may lose Chalice, but they kill the carry. Somnus with the kill.
There right away, you see it, and he does give away his build. So Somnus, he's going to scale. It's actually a Diffusal build.
All right, Diffusal into the box by looks.
Very cool.
So getting that early item that really will allow him to get that extra impact with the movement. He gets in, gets him with a slow dash with damage mana burn. It's a lot of aggressive potential from the snap. He's making the move up top after that kill, pretty much taking down the tier 1 tower as well.
And maybe it could be an effect of what happened to Low, right? Low goes top, dies, he goes bottom, dies, and maybe Somnus is like, all right, move over, buddy. I'm going to defuse, I'm going to carry mode, because we haven't seen it, but the potential of these type of scaling things, too, with the snap could be kind of interesting. Diffusal build versus the Night Stalker versus the Magnus, too. It's mana burn. It's frustrating to play versus at times. So
yeah, they're going to be able to take this tier 1 tower down on the top lane. Meanwhile, on their half of the map down bottom, their tier 1 still standing in pretty good shape.
Dire's tower has fallen.
I've been able to be getting these kills, but not quite able to put her on the same amount of tower pressure quite yet as Azure getting away with.
No Meteor Hammer offlaner or anything like that for the side of LGD. They're going to have to do it through raw fighting to be able to take those towers. And look what they're setting up for. Bottom Neo, his ult is back up, so a tough attempt. Tianming here.
Sun's coming in. New missile as well. Planet ready to close in on towards Tianming. There'll be defensive disruption, trying to buy time here for the clock. But LGD, they're bringing in the numbers. Nothing to say. Get the RP if they've got the follow-up chains done. Screw them back. They're able to get out with the time now. Slow survives. And Planet, he's the one to fall. Azure turning up and keeping everyone alive, making sure that even Tianming is able to keep himself up.
Big moves in the last few moments. All gathering very, very fast. And that is an RP used, and that is a Dark Ascension as well used right at the start of it also. Quickly turns and perhaps a little bit of damage here onto this tower too with Somnus.
I mean, great involvements from Somnus. He's up and down the map. He's keeping himself in that top spot. It's going to be a fantastic timing on this Diffusal into boots of travel right now.
And Chalice is just getting away with the typical Bristleback thing. He's just going on the side. He's going to have good timing, it looks like, onto his Aghanims with the normal build.
Hey, where's Dire's bottom tower?
Another tower take.
Another one.
They're really ticking off all the boxes here in this early game, Azure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And that's, I mean, big downtime now for the side of LGD. We see the RP being used, and of course the Dark Ascension. So now they're probably feeling like they need to chill a little bit. It's daytime, so New needs time to just sit back and farm. So for this side of Azure, they definitely can thrive off of a bit more aggression here, with that all being down. Perhaps even look for the mid tower soon.
Yeah, it feels like pretty much all three of LGD's cores, right? They kind of need that next item or even the next two before they're able to turn up and turn things around in these fights. Azure, they've got that first item done a little bit quicker.
Or just at least like wait for the cooldowns in particular. Right? 40 seconds at least for the RP, and then New also about 45 seconds or 2 minutes until nighttime. So a little bit of slowdown, and yeah, they're not going to slow down at all. That's why they're looking to make these plays. They want this Muerta.
No sneaky bums.
That would be the big catch. I'd certainly settle for any other.
They've got a rocket for vision.
They're going to go straight for it. They've got the easy setup here with F5's ultimate, slowing you in position. Easy kiss connections from Somnus. It's another one here for the snap.
They're cruising right now. 4-5, but a 3K lead just off efficiency with these last few moves. Digs up a bounty for his buddy. Somnus will be able to keep himself full. And mid-tower, that's the next option.
Yeah, so far, it's really looking like the plan that they had in store with this last pick Snapfire. It's working out an absolute treat against LGD that seemingly don't quite know what's hitting them.
Here. Nothing to say. Looks like he's maybe feeling like he has to actually go for the Blink Dagger himself on this Magnus because New went for the Blade Mail and stuff like that. So they're going to need somebody to try to help out to start these fights and maybe turn it around a bit here.
Gee. Looks like they'll just make the move to get the steal on the Wisdom Rune.
But I mean, at this time too, look at low. He's looking at an ancient stack, and he's potentially maybe looking at stealing a wisdom. Actually, I mean, a kobold might just kill it, as they also go for a kill.
They get the setup here, straight in with a hook shot, cooking forward, but the swap's there. Why are you Smile able to get you back to safety under the tier 2?
The wisdom rune, is he going to kill with the kobold?
Easy deny there, low, making sure that even though LGD's able to steal Azure Rays on the other side of the map, they won't get their own one.
I love watching me some kobold micro.
Mid, skewer back onto Somnus. A
He's
bit
got
of a dangerous spot there. This time round, nothing to say, I believe, with the Blink Dagger reveal, catching Somnus by surprise. A very nice kill for, well, not him to get Planet, was the one to get the last hit on that, so we'll be a little bit disappointed with that one, nothing to say. He would have loved that.
At least he gets to hold his RP. It was just a skewer to be able to set up for that kill. On the side here, I mean, this is quite fortunate here for FY. He's able to finish him off.
Genius. Try and start to divorce the fight here. But it was Jiaming. They may just leave this clock behind. Jiaming falls. FY, he's out of there, but indeed not before he was able to take pretty much the entirety of that ancient stack.
Yeah, it was like a triple stack too, so it gets pretty much all of it. They still look to chase here. RP.
See, they've got the chain stun. RP into the fear. Shockwave, they've got easily enough damage to take down low. Nothing to say. With this, as you say, sort of shift with the build, getting the Blink Dagger before the Echo Saber, it's making big impacts. It was for that kill on the mid on Somnus, and now it's allowed them to take down low. Nothing to say. Very much so. Getting this game into a much more stable position for LGD, closing down that lead that Azure Ray drew.
I love when you see that identification where they're just like, okay, things are getting a little slow. Yeah, you know, it's cooldown based because it was like daytime and whatnot, and the thing bottom didn't work out. But he recognizes, like, we need this Blink to start making some action, have to strike back. When we have our CDs, right away they get some start. That ball rolling a little bit for themselves. But now Chalice, he's coming into play. Aghanim's done. But it is nighttime, so this Night Stalker can still look to get involved with his team constantly. He needs to go for the Blink Dagger, I'd imagine. He's got it queued up. Very good versus the Snapfire. Very good to get into the backline and positioning versus the Weaver. Close game, 8-4. But efficiency-wise so far for Azure, slightly leading. As Chalice can play very aggressive now with this Aghanim.
It's going to take quite a lot of resources for LGD to push Chalice out of their half of the map. They're going to try and do it, though. In the backup, setting up here with the ultimates, a lot of damage. The defensive disruption will come into play from FY to try and bail Chalice out of this one, but he's completely trapped. They'll lose the two of them. FY and Chalice taken down.
That's a painful death. Way too far for you. I mean, Shiro immediately is going to tip him there. He's like, you have no teammates there? Okay, sure. That's a pretty massive kill for this Muerta to get involved in.
Yeah, maybe, you know, he's obviously incredibly farmed at this point, Chalice. We thought he might be able to get away in that part of the map. He certainly thought so as well. But LGD making sure that he learns to not go over into this position any more times unless he's got more numbers, needs further backup. Just the two of them, that'll be dealt with pretty easily, as we see, by LGD.
I mean, LGD's draft does have a pretty absurd amount of damage at all stages of the game, really. Whenever there's a Muerta, it does feel like you're going to have that extra bit of damage. And with a bench, I think this hero has kind of been I mean, was super popular, of course, at the start here, but this hero does give your draft always insane amount of damage. Medallion, Wave of Terror, most heroes will just melt early on, so all this minus. Chalice does get punished, a little aggressive, but oh, wait, pretty close.
Somnus would love to look for a bit of action. He's close to hitting the level 12, so ideally getting the level 2 on the kisses. Has the Arcane Rune in the bottle, so being a bit of a sweet spot for Somnus to look for another play.
Definitely understanding why he's got the BKB queued. Right, he's versus this Night Stalker, he's versus this Magnus. He needs to have this protection for himself to be able to actually do something in the fights rather than just get full controlled. Is LGD still feeling this power during this nighttime? New with his fresh Blink Dagger.
Super strong.
Well,
maybe even with
very
the two
careful
of them.
here.
He can get him with the jump, the setup from the silence and the magic missile. They might be able to kill this Weaver. Look, he's going to reveal himself to clean up that last creep of the cam. Is it enough to lock down the rooster as well? It certainly is. A big catch to be found. Low not prepared for that move whatsoever. And now in the mid, nothing to say. He'll drop the RP. Get the drag back with the skill on towards the Bristle. You have New continuing to jump the backline. They didn't this time have enough damage to burst through Chalice. So now Azure, they're ready to turn. They punish New for the dive here beyond the tier 1. Shiro's up to for the TPR. Anything to stop it, there isn't. He'll make it away. Azure, they'll get New and they'll keep Chalice alive. This time round in this position on his own half of the map, Chalice a bit tougher to take down.
He actually has allies with him this time. Last time he was completely isolated. Does get that help up, but they do take out the Weaver again. So that's 4 now for Low, and they even had, like, they really had more than enough to be able to kill him. They still had the refresh from the Dark Ascension if they needed the follow-up silence too. So they are slowing down this Weaver, but will continue to get this scaling.
And unlikely to happen again next time. Super close to having his BKB low, just a couple of hundred gold away from the recipe.
So he adapted a little bit here. I mean, it's very needed this game versus all these silences and all these controls we're seeing for him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Azure moves down towards the bottom, the 4 of them. Ready for action. Chalice and FY smoked up right now. looks like LGD, they're aware that this area of the map is not the spot to be. They back off immediately.
They're waiting for their cooldown, so they used kind of a lot around that mid lane, so they don't want to push the issue here too much. Daytime in about a minute. They'll have Dark Ascension when that comes back up if they look to fight, so probably about 40 seconds downtime for LGD. And Azure, as you said, low. BKB is finished, so they're going to have...
Done.
Yeah, it looks like a double BKB timing coming out for them right now.
I mean, it's a lot tougher for you to sort of get in there and get the guaranteed kill or setup. Chalice starting to push together the defense around the mid lane.
Really wanting to hold on to that tier 1. They even popped the cliff there for it, just trying to ensure it stays alive a little bit longer.
Bit of an awkward skewer, but still makes his way safely up to the high ground. See if he wants to get back down to the... Oh no! Tries to hook away, but he misses his own teammate. He's not able to drag himself out of it. He's caught in the river, but back up arrives. Moving forward, loads in with the BKB. Swamps there from one spot, trying to get used to safety below. He's going to have another Execution ready to go. He's chasing down the Night Dog. He brings down you. He'll turn toward Planet. Planet drops the TP. Execution's going to be back up in a second. It isn't enough damage though. Planet's able to TP away. LGD lose 2. Low turning up, and with this BKB timing, it's a strong point for Azure, a strong point that LGD, they can't kill the Weaver through.
I mean, great from Tianming. It's like a bait play from the level 7 clock where he kind of forces this whole play to happen. And can they finish him?
Oh my goodness, the damage certainly adding up there from the Axe from Chalice.
But look where they get, look where they are. Oh, thank you. You brought us actually to your Tormentor. Tormy will be claimed. Chalice can clear this one up easily. They're actually bringing over Planet. Maybe tries to go for a last hit.
He might try for a snipe on this.
Let's see what we get.
It's risky. Got the ward down. A little early with the Shadow Round, though. Won't be able to get that one. It's already too much damage. As Azure able to claim LGD's Tormentor and get that shard for Tianming.
Lord, it dies so fast to the Bristle when he gets those stacks up. 7k now off of that. They're taking advantage of these cooldowns very nicely. As soon as they identify, mid, LGD used a little bit too much, they strike back quick, take over a pretty big advantage here. 7,000 gold lead now. And a Bloodstone now pretty much finished up for Chalice. Some big timings that they're hitting. And I think they did not use either? No, they did use the Weaver BKB there, but that's them not really having to use too much to be able to kind of dominate that fight while LGD had those cooldowns not at the ready.
Azure absolutely turning up in these first 20 minutes.
Looking nice.
7k advantage. This Bristle's certainly going to be a problem, and we're going to see any sort of adaptation from LGD with their builds. Like, who's building to deal with the Bristle?
It's going to have to be the Muerta, right? The Muerta eventually. But that's going to take a long time for Shiro to have that Silver Edge, because he probably needs like 1 or 2 items in between. It's more than likely just him for quite some time to deal with it. And we see how it all starts. It's on the clockwork, which is
a bit awkward.
He's only level 6 too. It's like it's not even that super valuable kill. He causes this entire situation to happen.
And you know what? He missed that hook shot on purpose. You know, it was just a bait. It's like, oh, look at me. I didn't escape. Oh, woe is me. And then the backup comes in and low. He's ready with the cleanup. And LGD, they're sent running.
Yeah, we're honestly seeing a lot of power of maybe why this Snapfire in particular, why it's being picked. Somnus' kisses in general in these fights, they're devastated. They're having to just completely split and run away.
They've done a crazy amount of damage for sure here on the mid-snap.
Treat to see. Cooldowns now, of course, though, on the side of LGD. Everything is coming back up, but now the issue is they're playing into multiple BKBs. Yes, you've got your RP. Yes, you've got this nice stuff with this blink. They've got initiation, but will they be able to endure those BKBs that are already out? And also another Tormentor, of course, that's about to be brought down to Chalice. So, you know, these shards are going to be kicking out for the supports.
And RP pretty much is the only
thing
kind of easy instant stun, or as instant, as close to instant as you can get, that can catch these heroes before they get the chance to press BKB. Anyone else starts leading in from LGD, Azure, their heroes are going to get the BKBs off every single time. Every
single time, yeah. They need it feels like for LGD in these next few moments, they need an explosive jump to just try to take these fights, but looking hard. And also for Azure now at this point, Roche is on the menu, and they will kill it extremely fast with this draft. With the Weaver, Snapfire, the Bristle, it's going to die in seconds, so. For LGD, they have to be on their toes to be able to try to prepare themselves for that potential Roche that's going to be coming probably in the next 4 minutes, because it's on the Radiant side right now. So, see what they look to make with these next few moves.
I mean, for sure, but it's going to be so hard trying to approach the
even
Roche.
contesting.
But you know that Somnus is going to be set up in the trees around somewhere, getting ready to lay down the ult if LGD jump into the pit and try and fight the rest of Azure.
Yep. Shiro actually, you were mentioning who's going to be the answer for the Bristle. Shiro's changing his build up completely. He had the BKB Mjolnir queued up. He's prioritizing that Silver Edge. They're starting to feel that pressure.
Yeah,
perhaps
I mean, I think it's fair. I think in terms of sort of damage through the BKB, they've got a lot of it right in Azure. You know,
sure.
BKB is going to help you a lot against the kisses coming in. One of the biggest problems when you're trying to stand your ground, piercing the veil as a Muerta. But yeah, the fact that this Bristle is going to run completely rampant through the fights, it's definitely the bigger problem that Shiro needs to address.
And look at this. The scan comes out, but it's actually, I think, right right before they actually walk into the pit there. So quick. They're probably aware this is happening, but it's going to die in seconds anyway, so no way for them to react. And Azure, this is definitely potential for them to start knocking on tier 2s, but maybe even more than that. With this Aegis now finished up on Chalice. Scary moments perhaps for LGD. It's 5 to 8 minutes.
If LGD find themselves in a bad fight during this Aegis in the hands of Chalice, LGD's easily going to lose a couple of their tier 2s, maybe even more.
They're already setting up on top. They have this aggressive ward that was placed out from earlier. They actually see Shiro with it. Of course, pushing into high ground has been a difficult task for many teams in this tournament, and playing into Avenge and a Magnus, of course, is going to have its own problems coming into it all too, but at least some good moments here that Azure can take advantage of the map. Yeah, low, even the Deso's pretty much done too, so. See if they look to set up for those tier 2s at the least. And Somnus, he's just continuing to go for scaling, by the way, so the BKB was done with that defusal. He's going straight for that pike, so just continuing to get that big scaling. And that's going to help a lot too, also for distancing, right? He's always just wants to avoid getting jumped on, heroes getting in his face. He'll have that pike to be able to push the Magnus, push the NS away as well.
Killing spree.
See ya.
Ooh, Aqua spray damage. I'll TP in away from that one.
And they're just sweeping across now, looking for more.
Oh, and that's a sweet hook shot there for Tiamin. Gets in with a perfect angle over towards Why You Smile. We're going to be able to get both of them here.
Double kill.
Double kill for Chalice. The gold for this Bristleback just continues to roll in.
Tier 2 on the menu.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
She's got loads teasing around with New. He's going to try for the TP. It was quite the long one, but he didn't have any way to cancel it in time. Still though, there's going to be some pressure onto the tower.
Both towers.
2 heroes down on LGD. Pretty much guaranteed that they're not going to be able to do much about at least one of these tier 2s going. We'll see how heavy Azure want to keep the push on. His bottom lane creeps have been pushed all the way back out from LGD right up to Azure's tier 2. Not able to put on the pressure there. We'll see Azure focus around the mid, but nothing to say.
Can't find the angle. Wants to go for a jump, but yeah, he's got more than enough behind himself on Chalice here.
Yeah, they're playing it carefully, Azure, respecting the fact that the respawn's coming in from LGD, and that LGD may just actually still be in a shape to try and go for a fight around the tier 2s.
Do they have the damage now? It's so always been the question for LGD. Outside the base. Inside the base, they probably will with this Muerta, but outside, starting to feel a little complicated for them versus the BKBs that are out with Shiro being slightly underfarmed here.
They just let the top one go. Tier 2's gone. Azure continuing to take over the map at 24 minutes in.
And they're playing it careful. They're sweeping together. Low playing on his own a little bit here, but difficult to get caught. Chalice always having backup of his allies. Interesting to point out too, if I was looking at Somnus' build, I saw only 2 points in Cookie. Yeah, he's going stats. The universal way. Why not? He's going to be going for that big scaling himself too.
Dire's middle tower
on top of just his items that he's been going for.
We'll be ready to TP over and join that fight in the mid if it kicks off. We're going to see them try and start things. They're going to drag back on the Chalice with the skewer. Good damage here as they're able to cleanly take him out the first time round.
Pretty isolated.
See if they can go for round 2. RP straight away from nothing to say. Another skewer getting him right up into the base. Up towards the team. In there as well. They'll be able to take him down. Jianming tried to hook shot forward to help him out, but Chalice has fallen. Kiss is coming in. Why You Smile.
They'll get another one too.
Still goes down.
That's Jianming as well. Great catch there. Nothing to say, just seizing the opportunity. One quick slip up. Maybe gonna find more.
Get him with a harpoon, drag by with the skewer, they'll catch up. Why?
Oh, wow. I mean, those are massive catches. This is a gem as well, too, picked up? I think it is.
Big defense here from LGD. As Azure, I mean, they had the Bristle, an incredibly farm Bristle. With an Aegis, it didn't matter. LGD very easily dealing with that, surprisingly so.
Without even the Silver Edge, right? They just actually had more than enough damage. I guess, looking at it, he doesn't have any armor items, so the Venge throws the Wave of Terror, throws the Solar Crest, and he's actually, taking pretty much maximum damage there from that physical. Wow. Low down Azure completely there. That was right after the talent, I think, also got picked up from Nothing to Say. I think he just hit 15 not too long before that, so the double skewers are able to bring that Bristle back closer and closer.
It's definitely going to be quite the shake-up for Azure. Definitely. If you've just gone for that sort of play with the Aegis on the Bristle and it's ended up like that, what are you doing different next time round? How are you making sure you don't walk into this again?
Whoa.
Big damage coming out for Low. Got a blast from Somnus. Takes Planet out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be the question always versus the Venge versus this Magnus hero. Repositioning. Shiro.
Trying to see if we can maybe set something up here with the Silver Edge now complete. So as you say, we saw them take down Chalice pretty easily there. Now they've got the break. It's going to be even easier.
Very true. I really thought that they would struggle a little bit more before to bring him out, but yeah, just overwhelming damage.
And it's off.
Azure, what's the next move? Shouldn't do it with the Aegis.
Looking at the items queuing up, I was waiting to see if FY did queue this up. He probably does want this Blink Dagger on the Shadow Demon eventually to be able to get potential saves onto the heroes that get swapped or skewered and whatnot into the fountain. Trying to find the opportunities.
Sure, they need some way to sort of break Chalice out of the combo that he keeps getting caught in.
Stains, gold remains.
Yeah, because overall, I mean, their initiation for the side of Azure, it's definitely a little difficult for them to start a fight and just kill a hero before they're able to get a spell off and reset into that base, if it's near the base, right? So, even though they have that AK lead, maybe it does feel a bit deceptive with how much LGD is able to make these initiations freely with nothing to say on this Magnus.
Yeah, I mean, LGD are making that AK lead look like nothing.
It really is.
With the way that they've pulled together those last few defenses, and now they're ready to get offensive themselves.
Especially because they got the gem off that last fight, too. You actually get so much control with it, playing versus a Weaver in particular, but also just being able to get the D-wards around.
See TP backs here. Looking to try and punish Xianming for taking that Wisdom Rune. He's out with the
He died in
TP. They won't find him.
That was gorgeous. I love it. The jetpack high five. Nobody high fived him back, but it's okay.
BKB.
There we go, the tower.
Now for New, I mean, he's going to have a much better chance just kind of getting in, getting on top of them, and sort of being in range with that silence, whilst the BKB durations for Azure start to fall shorter and shorter.
Feels like they got through one of the harder points playing versus that Aegis, taking it out on the side of LGD. To get this big scale. I mean, Shiro's starting to get pretty scary. Getting closer and closer to them. I mean, he's now tied with the Bristleback, getting ahead of everybody else. Just Somnus ahead of him now at this point.
And once this hero Moeta starts to get the items online, we've seen what this hero can achieve.
Heroes evaporate. Especially when you have the backup of something like an amplifier. You have Avenge and you have the Empower too. These little things do add up.
Extra bit of damage.
Chalice showing himself bottom. Got backup coming in, but LGD, they've got the numbers down here.
Shiro. Show himself on the wave. Complete backup ready behind him. Azure. Got to be careful what they walk into here.
Quick grab.
On the side. Try and get the setup onto Xianming. He's able to get over the jetpack. Magic Missile catch it in there, bring him down. They even get the aggressive swap onto one.
RP.
Into the RP. They'll take Chalice down low. They'll bring him out of the game. Chalice
Oh my
the ball.
goodness, the damage.
See Somnus look to turn.
It needs a
Never was new, but the BKB's out and used up in the trees. Azure, they don't get anything in return. LGD just getting in, getting the kills, and getting out.
These heroes disintegrate. Even Chalice, again, he just dies in a matter of seconds. And Shiro doing, what, 4,600 damage there.
Just getting away with these aggressive plays. You know, why you smile able to set up with this aggressive swap just to open up onto the Bristleback. I mean, at this point for Azure, Chalice, it feels like he can't frontline.
He cannot.
He gets caught at the start of the fight, they will kill him, and seemingly there's nothing that the rest of Azure's lineup can do to save him.
No, they don't have a way to start fights themselves on the side of Azure. You can see on the side of PSG, or on the side of LGD, they have multiple forms with that swap, like you said, but immediately when they get vision, they can just go for this jump. So Azure have to be careful.
Yeah, just straight up outplay from LGD in these last few fights.
Ever since the Roche, right? Like we said, it seems like they got through the hardest point, and right now they're getting catch after catch after catch. In Azure, they have to set up for this Roche. They cannot give up a Roche to LGD at this point. So looks like they should be able to get this one for free.
Of course, if in these fights Low can find his position, he can deal an incredible amount of damage. Looking in on the Daedalus. See, this time round, they will give Low the Aegis on this one.
I like that. And Chalice just has to be a little bit more careful and somehow be near FY to get some type of saves, but even then it's very difficult because of how fast he dies. At the least now he has this cheese that does perhaps have that secondary life to survive, but...
I just feel super relaxed playstyle from LGD. They
does.
didn't care last time that the Aegis was going into the hands of Azure, and this time round, once again, showing no intention of heading down there. Very much feeling like that they can happily take a fight against the Aegis. We'll see how much of a difference it makes with the Aegis being on the Weaver this time rather than on Chalice.
The question's still just going to be, is like, how much and what do you actually get out of this Aegis and Cheese now, it feels like, on the side of Azure? Because the problem is really just getting these objectives, pushing out, and making LGD feel weaker. It just, how much can they get? It happens.
It's a hard spell to hit.
They'll get it
We've all
anyway.
been there. I've been there every single time I play it. But Chalice, it doesn't matter. The job still gets done.
He didn't kill a teammate, right?
Radiant's top tower ain't looking too steady.
Vulcan's done now as well. For nothing to say, so even easier for him to find these entrances into the fight.
Absolute freedom.
Dire's middle tower
Make
is
sure that
under
he's able to
attack.
get that pullback with the skewer without being interrupted.
They're going to be able to get their own
Top tower's
Tormentor
under
now.
attack.
A nice shard, of course.
And a lot of it's going to fall down to FY, as it does seem to, and a lot of the times when he turns up at TI, he's got his Blink Dagger done. We need to see some big saves from this man. You know, ready with those disruptions, make sure that Chalice Low doesn't get caught in the full combo that LGD have been able to lay down upon them in the last few fights.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do. Is it just going to be this kind of farm Aegis where they feel comfortable to fight outside? It does feel like every time they went to go for that aggressive move, it got punished. So LGD,
I mean,
they're going to look for a jump themselves.
Yeah, they feel strong.
I mean, they should. After we saw those last few fights, they kill anybody, and the repositioning is massive.
I mean, whoever gets jumps is going to die.
Chalice.
Unless FY is able to get him with a save, and
He's far forward.
They're holding back. Now they reveal themselves. They'll
Broken.
They'll get the skewer back. There's not a chance. There's not a hope here for this Bristle. And Chalice is evaporating. You with a jump over towards Somnus. Somnus able to push him back. Gets himself slid back under the tier 2. He'll live for now. Nothing to say. Does continue to try and chase on you. He's even considering diving the base. FY holds him back with the disruption. LGD, they won't be able to dive quite yet, but just full aggression from LGD as Azure Ray, despite the lead on the numbers in terms of the gold, it just, we're not feeling it.
Nope, not at all.
LGD just seem to be in full control of this game right now.
They're playing beautiful with the way the vision is coming. The vision control, ever since they got the gem, ever since they killed that Aegis in particular around the mid, they're getting these jumps, and it's pretty much free jumps, it looks like, for nothing to say. He's not even using the RP. It's literally just him. They get the break hit, he gets the shockwave, the harpoon, the skewer, and then they have overwhelming damage.
Yeah, he's really done a lot this game. 4-0-6, they've not been able to touch this man.
Yeah, Somnus is trying to actually do a little bit of similar, at least for scouting now. He has his Silver Edge. He's trying to give information for his team to at least see these jumps coming. Now that it is daytime for about a minute, looking to try to get some type of advantage with this Aegis.
LGD just not getting caught out there.
Backing away every single time.
Azure Ray, it's been a while since they've been able to get away with an initiation and an aggressive maneuver themselves. They'll get the tier 2 in the mid lane. The towers have certainly been falling, but when it comes to killing the heroes, LGD, they've just not been slipping up. Azure Ray struggling to find any sort of catch.
They haven't actually killed the core in quite a long time. They killed Planet, and they killed Y, and then they killed Planet and Y, and that's it in the last 15 minutes. They have not killed the core in 15 minutes. So the cores on the side of LGD have kind of been playing the map perfectly, you could say, if that's the case. And how do they kill those, right? And what's their catch to be able to bring down one of these cores at this point?
Only just over a minute left on the Aegis here for Low.
Okay. KB, of course, now on Chalice. He's got the cheese.
I mean, LGD, they just look terrifying. You know, knowing how the last few fights have gone, stepping into this part of the map, trying to push forward as Azure Ray, it can't feel easy.
Oh, and I'm just so scared. Every time I see Chalice kind of like run up for a second, I'm terrified for him. It's how fast he has been brought down over and over again. Does have Defiant Shell, BKB cheese, so quite a bit tankier.
Seeing a bit of a wraparound as well here from LGD, trying to maybe get towards the back lines.
I mean, LGD, it's nighttime. It's hit. They've got the vision advantage. They're going to start.
Straight in onto it. RP, the brakes there. The Bristle back on immediately. They'll also be able to take down Tianming. Azure Ray, they just cannot take a fight right now. Somnus has the BKB TP out. He'll make it out of there. But once again, a move that's made with Azure Ray having the Aegis upon them, they just can't get anything done. LGD taking every single fight that's handed to them.
He died in, I mean, that was 5,000 damage in what? 1.5 seconds or something like that? He died so fast. I mean, there's no reaction. Like, how is that FY? It's like he has to somehow get in there to save him, but the speed that he dies is absurd. And this is with Defiant Shell. This, of course, with Cheese. He can't get anything off. The damage just from Shiro is way too high after he's broken.
Yeah, straight down the lanes they go now, LGD. They're ready to push themselves, try and take some of the tier 2s.
I mean, nothing to say has just done absolutely everything, it feels like, for the team. I mean, you, of course, have to give merit to them getting the vision, of course, with the Night Stalker and stuff like that, but he's been getting catch after catch after catch. But yeah, 15 minutes or so now.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And that one thing that they had, Azure Ray going for them, that little bit of a gold lead, it's slipping away.
I mean, that gold lead, it was what? It was approaching 10,000 plus or something
like that.
It
got up to quite a decent amount early on.
It's never felt like it actually mattered. And now a full AC on top 2 for New. I mean, even more damage, more minus armor. Azure, what do they do?
We'll see if anything kind of gets better for Azure Ray when it comes to maybe being forced to take fights on their side of the map. When it comes to high ground defense, maybe they'll have something a bit better going for them if Somnus is able to set up on the back lines, get in a good position to lay down the damage with the kisses, and having that range and that high ground advantage. But even then, The problem is LGD's heroes, they've got a lot of heroes that do not mind diving the high ground, right?
No. I mean, maybe this is going to start getting to some points where it's, all right, maybe we just have to wait until the 25s come out for the side of Azure, right? The Weaver 25 and Somnus 25 and see if that's going to be able to somehow win them some of these fights, because it just feels like they don't have a Bristleback in a lot of them because he's just deleted. So the heavy lifting is going to have to somehow come from the Snap and Weaver. But it really does feel like LGD, they have all the answers. These last 15 to 17 minutes just feels like perfect. And it's not even like it doesn't look like they feel that pressured either, right?
I don't think so
It's
at all.
been pretty calm plays, these calm skewer backs. It's great identification of when to take these fights.
Yeah, they're happy to take it easy. I mean, Muerta this game should be able to outscale anyone else in the match, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Shiro in a fantastic spot. Has got still a lot of progress that he can continue to make with his item build.
And even him going for something like a Hex is actually just good if he wants to actually go down that route. He's playing versus a Weaver, right? So it's never bad to have that little bit more of disable as well. It does give you damage, of course, too. As he doesn't even really need the damage anymore, so I don't blame him if he does go for something down like a Hex.
Is there anything item-wise that Azure can look towards themselves? I mean, we see Low queuing up the Satanic, trying to beef himself up a bit, have a extra bit more survivability. Chalice is queuing up the Shiva's Guard. Maybe that'll help him out a little bit, but highly likely that he's still just going to die straight away as the fight begins, with how well LGD are just focusing down the Bristle and catching him in spots where Azure, they cannot save him as a team.
It feels like for them they have to have some way to be able to start the fights themselves, but their heroes just don't really do that in comparison. They don't have this Magnus or one of these big initiating heroes. They have the Bristleback, who he's a body rather than an actual initiator for the team. And so far, that body not been working out so well in these last minutes. Now, even the Shivas, right? Like, yeah, he got the Defiant Shell and stuff like that, which is 7 armor. He died in a fraction of a second.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the break comes in and the Pierce the Veil damage comes out from Shiro, it's game over for the Bristle.
On top of the Empower and the Vengeance Aura and the Wave of Terror, it's just, yeah, so much amplification as we're seeing. And now I'm like trying to think, right? For low, it's like you see the Satanic, but see if you're gonna get the Satanic off in a lot of situations. Could just get evaporated. Playing on these timings perfectly.
And if you're Azure in this sort of position, I mean, as a team, what's sort of the call that you think's being made right now? The fact that you've
tough to say.
Got the last 2 Aegises, you've tried to go for these pushes, you've taken a tier 2 here and there, but just nothing else has been going your way. As a team, what sort of point do you look towards next to make that next move?
It's a good question. I mean, maybe it is just these 25s on the Weaver and the Snap, or maybe it is just the Hex on Somnus, because right now they have no way to start a quick, easy fight or get a quick, easy pickoff with their heroes. They just don't have it. Like, yeah, Clockwork can hook shot and perhaps bonk one hero away, but they have to save with the Venge, so it's just always complicated for Azure to start a fight. And downtime now for LGD. Everything's back up. Dark Ascension's at the ready. RP, they want to hit again.
Oh, they certainly do. Nothing to say, leading the way.
Anyone who shows is just going to get disintegrated in seconds.
They could jump low even if they catch him here. They will. Straight in with the RP. They're going to drag back. F1 tries to help out, but
New's already there.
On top of it with the crippling fear. Not a chance for any sort of disruption play to come out as LGD. They're just too quick with the moves.
Middle tower had a run.
Just no hesitation from nothing to say, it seems like, for most of this game. And New there that time, the perfect coverage. FY can't even get the save off. Another skewer attempt, a BKB forced.
They won't get him this time round. Charlotte's able to stay safe. But the push likely to still come in. The creep wave stepping forward here for LGD. The backdoor protection taken out.
Glyph.
Low does have a buyback, but even if that comes in, are they really going to be able to push them back? Nothing to say. He'll get the catch once again. As Tianming tries to hookshot in. New, he jumped the back lines. He's in on the Somnus. Somnus tries to turn, but the Blade Bear's out for New. Somnus has got to be careful. He'll have to force himself back to the safety of the fountain. LGD easily able to deal with Tianming outside of the base. They'll take the barracks. There is nothing that Azure can do.
Nope, and they're just going to keep going. New's just waiting for a creep to spawn so he can heal up back a decent chunk off of it. There we go. And 2 sets down. Azure maybe just talking about what to do for this following, even though there's lanes up top. I mean,
He's ready to go for more, and nothing to say. Tries to get the catch onto Somnus. This time Somnus able to break away from the combo. New, he's in on top of FY. And a cape and a cookie to the side. They're trying to get FY back to safety, but the detection's there. FY to fall.
They're just hitting tier 4s.
They're ready to end it. Straight down the mid onto the tier 4s.
Okay, backdoor's back up, they'll back away. The damage truly done, and Azure doesn't even touch a single hero, really. Yeah, they get them down to somewhat like half HP, but don't really hurt much of anything there. Again and again. Nothing to say. Flawless performance from this Magnus.
I mean, yeah, just from LGD as a whole, this sort of mid-game onwards, they couldn't have played it any better. They just completely broken what Azure tried to do with the pretty significant lead that Azure did build up during the laning stage. It just didn't matter whatsoever against the plays that LGD is pulling off.
No, even though there's an Aegis and whatnot, it just didn't seem like they weren't able to capitalize it whatsoever. It actually was LGD who capitalized off of the enemy Aegis, it felt like.
Yeah, and Chalice, he's having to go for an Eon Disc, drastic measures here, just anything that could give him a chance of just not getting blown up in that initial jump from LGD in every single fight.
Let's see if they can try to catch them, perhaps at least like off guard or something, because so far it's just LGD. They're all set up though, so it's not easy at all. There's also a full refresher on nothing to say for this next fight as well. Uh-oh.
If this goes wrong, it may just be all over here. Azure, they're going to step forward, but already nothing to see. They're going to take a long jamming. F5's out of the game. As low and F5, they do not have buyback. Somnus also put to a stop there. Attempted TP out. They just can't do anything. Azure. Whoa. Okay, Shiro's gone. All right, Chalice.
2,100 gold.
He's got something to say. He's taken down one of them. He's probably not going to get anything more. All right, Chalice, not bad. Not bad at all considering how the last 20 minutes have gone. Chalice is able to kill off the carry.
Chalice does 9,500 damage in about a second there.
That's amazing.
That's quite a bit. The cheese. Full splatter. And what, how much gold? 2,100.
Okay.
Chalice.
All right, Chalice, he's grown up. He's ready to turn things around. He's had enough of being bullied, being killed off, and killing down the carry, and now in a position where they should be able to get this Roche. The third Roshan as well, so it'll be a free Ags here for the squad.
Who wants it though?
Let's have a look. I mean,
you give it to maybe you give it to the Shadow Demon, maybe?
Did you give it to Low? Maybe to try and have an extra save against. I know it's not great. It's pretty bad nowadays, but anything to save this Crystal.
I wonder who they're gonna give it to. Let's see.
So you passes off to Chalice.
Just give it to one of the cores, or does FY want it? Let's see. I feel like it's nice on FY, but
FY or Somnus, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it could be Somnus. Maybe that's the initiating tool that they were lacking this whole time.
Yeah, just throw
Chalice in and hope for the best or something. I guess we'll see.
Okay. The game goes on. Despite the fact that fight overall, they lost pretty much, 4 heroes.
They gave it FY.
Chalice keeps his going. Okay.
Okay. I thought they would, but I thought perhaps because he was holding it for a second, maybe they were contemplating for Somnus. It'll go to FY.
Let's see if they can do a little bit more of that. Chalice, 5k gold in the bank.
See if the heart's going to make the difference.
Indeed, that Eon Disc gets out of there now. He's like, you know what? We don't need to go there. We can continue to play as we'd hoped for as the Bristle.
That was very unexpected.
Yeah.
Back to grouping up. Shiro, still level 25, of course, as a refresher, coming out very, very soon. Cooldowns coming back up in a second. So, LGD gathering up, probably looking to still go for that hit. Even if they're playing into that Aegis, as we've seen so far this game, they don't care.
Pressure of just about 1,000 or so away.
Close.
Jure, they might look to make a play themselves.
Do they have anything new? The Ags, of course, those finished up on the clock, and that heart, of course, there for Chalice. And let's see, is this enough? He's gained quite a bit of HP in these last few moments. Still doesn't feel like it's going to be enough for him to survive, but maybe FY with this new Aghanims can make a difference also.
Incoming!
Somnus. About to hit 25 and having enough gold to get his next item done.
Okay. And he is still queuing up this Hex, so he is still feeling like the route of having at least an extra form of disable is very important.
Piecing things back together here. It's been a very difficult 20 minutes, but just one kill, that fact that they were able to bring Shiro down.
That was massive.
It's given it's that extra kind of a new wind, a new lease of life here for Chalice.
Yeah, the Hex, I mean, they're spending out their gold. I feel like they kind of know that they have to in these next few moments as well, too. Pressure is back up. RP is ready. LGD. Ruin clustered. Shiro does spend out as well, too, so they can catch this Muerta. Another option here for Azure.
And that would be crazy. Because the game is in a point where obviously the tier 2's taken. It's up to the tier 3's on LGD's side of the map. So indeed, if that Muerta's out of the game without buyback, a lot of damage could get done by Azure.
How close to Weaver? Low. They're trying to give him his 25, I'd imagine, trying to get this Geminate. Flash. Smokes out. The rockets to scout. It saw the Magnus for a second there.
Darkness out here. you. Say, on catch.
Oh, low.
Oh, he's out again with the Shikuchi.
Tense moments.
Unable to get that catch, and the rocket flare spam with this Aghanims coming in from Tianming.
Free smoke.
Yeah, hard for them to enter into the fight.
Hook shot.
Ooh, he was teasing with the idea of going back in himself. Won't get the catch. Maybe for the better there. It was quite the deep play.
Trying to take advantage of their ages, perhaps, when he's looking for that. Low.
They're still
Scouting
hopping
it.
around.
Oh.
I mean, nothing to say may still be willing to jump. You know, Azure is likely to get the wall control around here, so LGD will back off.
I get patient. Long 1 minute, 20 seconds. Upping sides. They know they have momentum coming in that bottom and mid wave.
Seeing if they can force something down. I mean, of course, Tier 2 is still up on that top lane, so LGD can't get anything more out of this push unless they want to try going straight head on for the Tier 4s.
Which they could do.
They certainly push fast.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
Azure trying to see if they can come in from behind them, but the scan's been a hit. LGD know that Azure is trying to approach them from this angle.
LGD's got the high ground.
Flare spam, even to come out though from Tianming, making it difficult for LGD to catch Azure by surprise.
30 seconds on Aegis. LGD looking for a catch.
So as we've been seeing, more than happy to go for these solo RPs if it means a catch onto someone like Low.
So he's got the secondary one at the ready too, so. Sure. Forced back into their base. Double catapults coming in.
Boom! There it
Trying to deal with the sort of the situation, the waves and all the lanes, but this rocket flare spam from Tianming helps to keep the waves held back.
I mean, the Willow planted.
Give me the Hex on towards Chalice. Chalice, you can try and move him to the Ags, not quite in range of Planet.
Whoopsie. The bristleback used. Nothing to say, looking for an angle.
The RP.
Finds two.
He's in. He's got to do with him. He's able to drag them back straight into the corner. The damage coming out of Shiro, the Pierce, the Bell, and take out John. They take out Something. Once again, nothing to say. Coming in with the RPs that count here. And he's maybe even ready to go for more. Post a refresher.
Killing
Wants a big one.
They get the swap back. Heals to get the grab onto Tianming. They're able to take down what will be a fourth hero here. There's nothing to say. These RPs, they've not been the 5-mans, but they haven't needed to be. The 1-mans, the 2-mans, every single time catching the cause they count.
I mean, flawless execution really by him, and flawless by Shiro as 2 shots the snap fire.
And Somnus, he's not got the buyback. He's out for 70 seconds. Oh, not enough for the money.
He bought up the small crit.
He did. On top of the Silver Edge as well. He's spent up. The Chalice trying to hold. Can't have the close spray damage is enough to bring down Planet.
But he's alone.
He's not going to pull it. He's quite quickly getting brought down a second time. Hook jump for Tianming, trying to hold Shiro back away for Chalice, but Shiro, Hurricane Punch.
They're unstoppable.
Tries to finish off Chalice. The crits are there. They're taking the ball down. No buybacks left on Azure. The Tier 4's fall. The game is over. GG is called. LGD take game 1.
Got a little bit more exciting than I think we anticipated toward the end there, of course, with Chalice getting those big kills, but overall, an LGD domination. And from, what, the 18 to 20 minute mark until now,
It really was.
Honestly, nothing to say. Every single one of his skewers catching perfectly, even that one that I think totally caught Azure up.